Bengals fans, happy game day and welcome into Bengals Breakdown. I am your host, Stone Shields. A little bit later on tonight, we will be live for our watch party, so don't miss out on that. I'm calling it a must-win game here tonight for the Cincinnati Bengals against the New York Giants. But on today's show, we're going to take a look at some matchups to watch. 5 matchups to keep an eye on that are really going to determine the outcome of this football game. So that's what's coming up on today's second preview of the week. Again, it is game day here, so I hope everybody's excited for some Sunday night football, primetime game, island game. I'm certainly fired up. I know you guys are too. But if you want the Bengals to win on Sunday night football against the New York Giants, make sure you share today's video for me right now. The boss said we got to get our shares numbers up here. In the month of October, we're going for over 20 shares on this video. So share this video on social media. Help us out. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you desire. Share today's video for us right now. We would greatly appreciate that. All right, first matchup to take a look at here is center Ted Carris going up against defensive tackle, nose tackle, Dexter Lawrence of the New York Giants. And look, Dexter Lawrence is probably the best nose tackle in the National Football League. He is unbelievable. Of course, played his collegiate ball at Clemson, was a 2-time national champion there, was a high draft pick by the Giants in 2019, getting picked at number 17 overall. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. This guy is the real deal, and he wreaks havoc on opposing offenses. So Ted Carris really is going to have his work cut out for him in this game. Taking a look at these stats here from Lawrence. I mean, my goodness, the guy's been absolutely unbelievable. That many sacks from an interior defensive lineman really is impressive. But I feel good about having Ted Carris in this situation for the Cincinnati Bengals. Karras has been a great center, great captain for this football team ever since he came over a couple of years ago. And we'll see if he's able to handle Lawrence by himself. I know some teams in the past, the Cowboys in particular, would just kind of double team him with a guard as well. In Bengals' case, either Cordell Volson or Alex Kappa. But Dexter Lawrence really has the ability to wreck a football game. And obviously that is something Cincinnati is trying to avoid in this game. So really pivotal matchup for Cincinnati. Ted Carris going against Dexter Lawrence. We'll see if the Bengals offensive line is able to keep things up, because they've been really good in 2024 so far. But no doubt this is their toughest test to date, going up against this Giants defensive front. So will the Bengals be able to protect Joe Burrow in this football game? Again, they've done a really nice job of that so far in 2024 through 5 games. Are they going to be able to keep it up? I didn't even mention guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, who is beat up. We don't know his status for the game exactly. Brian Burns as well is also beat up. So something to continue to monitor. Again, as of filming, we do not know the status of those two guys, but Giants really have an incredible defensive front. So let us know the pinned comment of today's video. If that ad comes here on YouTube, it's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Second matchup to watch is Mike Hilton going against Wan'Dale Robinson. And again, as of filming, anticipating Mike Hilton to be back after he didn't play against Baltimore last week. He has practiced during the week to this point, so I expect him to be out there. And Wan'Dale Robinson really is a really solid receiver for this New York Giants football team this year. He's done a lot of great things, kind of short routes, intermediate routes, kind of going over the middle. Doesn't really take the top off the defense by any means, but his running mate, Malik Neighbors, again, as of filming, we don't know his status on whether or not he's going to play. As of filming, he is still in concussion protocol, but they really are a really good tandem, because Neighbors can take the top off the defense, and Wan'Dale Robinson can really work those short intermediate routes. Typically lines up in the slot. So I think, occasionally maybe a linebacker would get switched off to him or what have you, but the Bengals are going to hope that it's Mike Hilton or whoever's playing that nickel that gets matched up against Wan'Dale Robinson. So Wan'Dale Robinson really, I think, is an underrated wide receiver in this football league, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge for the Bengals to go up there and keep him in check and prevent him from having a big game against this Cincinnati Bengals football team, because as you guys know, pretty much every offense so far this year, besides New England in Week 1, has had a massive, massive day against Cincinnati. We'll continue with our matchups to watch here in a moment, but first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Game Time. Look, guys, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks is the easiest way to find and buy tickets to live events. Tickets for a couple of weeks from now at home against the Philadelphia Eagles are on sale now. So head on over to Game Time and get the best deals possible. My two favorite features on Game Time: the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Game Time. Also, the all-in pricing. Toggling this feature up front allows you to see your total up front so you don't get hit with any of those surprise fees at checkout that some of those other ticketing companies can get you with. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, next matchup to watch here is Trey Hendrickson going up against Andrew Thomas in this football game. Trey Hendrickson, obviously, is the Bengals' best pass rusher. He hasn't really been able to tee off too much. Did have a nice play, of course, against Carolina before he got injured late in that football game. Didn't do a ton against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. He, found ways to kind of get Jackson off his spot, but never really was able to get home in that football game for Cincinnati last week. But there's no doubt this is one of their main dudes. If not, let's just say it how it is. He's their most talented guy on defense. And the Bengals really need him to have a solid game, and they got to find a way to sack the quarterback. The Bengals have not been able to do that this year. I believe they only have 5 sacks on the season. There you go. Trey Hendrickson's got 3 of those. He's going to be matched up against Andrew Thomas, who is a pretty solid left tackle. The Giants allocated some serious resources towards him in 2020, taking him at the number 4 overall spot out of Georgia. Second-team All-Pro in 2022. He's been solid. I don't know if he's necessarily lived up to number 4 overall, but it's a matchup that I think Trey Hendrickson can certainly go out there and be victorious. And hopefully he can have some success getting to a guy like Daniel Jones back there in the pocket and be able to get him on the ground, something the Bengals have not been able to do. I think defensively they can create some more negative plays, particularly in sacks. We saw him do that in the first half against the Ravens. The safety by Hubbard was massive. Hubbard also had another sack that was big, a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Bengals need to find a way to create more negative plays defensively, and it all starts with Trey Hendrickson. Another opportunity for you guys to get interactive with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. 1.5 sacks for the Bengals. Type O for over or U for under. That feels like such a low over-under, but like I said, only have a handful on the year, so that's what I chose to set it at there. I think if the Bengals are going to win this game, need it to be over in this. Absolutely need it to be over, so I'm going to go with O here. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think, over or under 1.5 sacks for Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. Next matchup here, Logan Wilson going up against the running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. for the New York Football Giants. Look, they kind of have a 2-back set, right? Devin Singletary, also their other running back. But again, as of filming, not exactly sure his status. He's been limited this week, so I'll expect him to play. But look, Brian Daboll and this New York Giants football team are really happy with what they have in Tyrone Tracy Jr., 5th-round pick, played his collegiate ball at Iowa before transferring over to Purdue, and he's been really solid. He's got some burst, in some ways kind of reminds you of Chase Brown a little bit, although I don't think he's as talented. But linebacker's going to have a big game tackling him, right? You want to make Daniel Jones sling that thing around the yard. If you give him a good running game, he can, be a little bit better than what some people make him out to be. So really need Logan Wilson in particular to crash down on the line of scrimmage, be ready to tackle those running backs. I think it's going to be a big matchup in this game because if you get Daniel Jones dropping back, throwing the ball 45, 50 times, I feel really good about Cincinnati winning this football game. We will be live on Bengals Breakdown around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. So don't miss out on that. Hit that sub button for our watch party. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be giving away this mini helmet actually right here at halftime. So for members of our Jungle Club, of course. So hit that sub button, youtube.com/Bengals TV, so you don't miss out on our Week 6 watch party. Last matchup here, the head coaching matchup between Zach Taylor and Brian Daboll. Look, I think Brian Daboll is a really good coach. I think he's kind of got unlucky kind of dealing with some of the Daniel Jones nonsense. Sure, there's some things that he hasn't done well, but I think the lack of success New York has had, over the past couple of seasons is not because of Brian Daboll. If you do remember, they were able to get a playoff win a couple of seasons ago that was really big for Daboll. So I feel good about Brian Daboll. I think he's a solid coach, but we need Zach Taylor, especially all you guys need Zach Taylor to have a good game because you guys love just absolutely banging on Zach Taylor. And I'm really hoping that, he can shut some of you guys up this week by putting together a really solid game plan, which, by the way, he had against Baltimore, but just, things got away from him at the end, and everybody, came crashing down on Zach Taylor. But it's obviously a big game for Cincinnati. I'm calling it a must-win game. They're 1-4 overall. That's their record. 0-1 in the AFC North after that loss in overtime to the Ravens, and very much in it. Pittsburgh and Baltimore haven't really distanced themselves too much from the pack. Cleveland stinks. Obviously, everybody knows that. But this is a game that the Bengals are the better team on paper, certainly. Have the much better quarterback, in my opinion. Have the better coach, despite the fact that I like and respect Brian Daboll. So they got to go out there on the road, take care of business. Standalone game. The whole country is going to be watching this, by the way. And the Bengals are going to silence the critics. They need to go out there, play well, play competent defensively, and get a victory. Also a big game for the Giants. They have an additional win compared to Cincinnati, of course, but their season is somewhat hanging in the balance here as well. So big game for both of these teams. Really excited for it. As you guys know, I've got the Bengals winning. Said that in our earlier preview video. 29-27 is what I'm going with, but I'm really excited for this game, and I hope you join us for our watch party coming up later on tonight.